election. Who's your front runner for you in the next election?
As in, who do I like the best?
Yeah.
Well, right now I like Andrew Yang the best, but I will be voting for whoever the Democrat is. And I see you're laughing. You're laughing at the Andrew Yang answer. What's up with that, man?
Well, it's just like I was not expecting that.
No, what were you expecting exactly?
Not Yang.
Yeah. Did you have anybody you were expecting?
Not really. That's what I'm saying. Just anyone but Yang.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
John Delaney. That's the one. Okay?
Yeah, John Delaney. Now I will say John Delaney does have a special place in my heart. If John Delaney had any chance, I think I would definitely be the first to call myself a Delaney-ac.
That is perfect.
Yeah, I didn't make that.
I
didn't
feel
make
like
that
you
one
would
up,
be the
but
first, though.
I think that would be fun. John Delaney early on had this policy that really turned me off of him, of a mandatory national service program.
Ooh, yeah.
I think he has since walked that back, but that would have been the kind of real coercive government program it just is. Okay, so Filthy Steve says his national service is not mandatory, by the way. I think at one time it was. I may be mistaken, but that was what turned me off of him from him at first. Maybe I just misunderstood. But I think John Delaney, he makes a lot of good points. Even recently, he said that Bernie and Elizabeth Warren, while he disagreed with their particulars, were basically right on the notion that coverage for healthcare should be universal. And I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, by the way, somebody in my channel is saying that the stream there's a bit of an echo on your end with my stream.
Yep.
So if there's something you can do, no worries if not. But
yeah.
I like Andrew Yang. I like two of his big ideas: the universal basic income and his democracy dollars idea, which would be a kind of bottom-up public financing of political campaigns, where basically every American would get $100 that they could spend on a political campaign each electoral cycle. Under our Constitution, I don't think you could ever limit the amount of money that people can spend on what are called political action committees, super PACs. I don't think you can do that under not only under the recent Supreme Court, well, not recent, but relatively recent, as in within the last 10 years, Supreme Court decision, Citizens United. But even then, I just don't know what the constitutional argument would be for restricting speech in that fashion. But you can, I guess, subsidize more political activity without violating the Constitution. So I think that's a good way to address that. And public financing of campaigns has been so weak in recent history because it's been like top down, where a candidate is faced with the choice of, well, do I accept what I think is I think it's a pretty paltry sum of public money, or do I forego that public money and go for almost unlimited private fundraising? So usually they go for the private fundraising anyway. And Andrew Yang's idea is that this would, by his calculation, wash out corporate money by a factor of 8 to 1, which is kind of cool. And that's as somebody who has been involved in the political process, in the corporate world. Nevertheless, as a private citizen, I recognize that's not ideal. So he's, I think, got the most realistic ideas for dealing with that. And of course, I like universal basic income as a better form of welfare program. Universal, you don't lose it by virtue of trying to improve your life by getting a better job or something like that. And he also believes in Medicare for all, which I think is kind of the third big idea that I like. Although, of course, he's not particularly specific on how his plan would work. So that's a little more vague. But so I like that. He's got some smaller policies, policies that get less attention that I'm not that big a fan of. But his flagship policies I think are really strong. So.